What if the reason you still feel restless, tired, or quietly overwhelmed is not because you lack something, but because you are holding on to too much? As 2026 unfolds, many people are searching for peace in a noisy, uncertain world. But Buddhism teaches a different truth. Inner peace does not come from adding more to your life. It comes from gently releasing what no longer belongs. This is not about becoming someone new. It is about remembering who you are beneath the weight you've been carrying. In this reflection, you will discover 10 things you must let go of to find inner peace in 2026. Listen slowly. Let each truth arrive in its own time, and allow this to feel like a quiet conversation with yourself. Let us begin. 1. Let go of the need to control everything. One of the greatest sources of inner unrest is the belief that life should unfold according to your plans. From a young age, you may have been taught that control equals safety. That if you plan enough, prepare enough, and think far enough ahead, you can protect yourself from pain. But Buddhism gently reminds us, control is often an illusion, and clinging to it creates suffering. You cannot control how others behave. You cannot control how quickly life changes. You cannot control outcomes, timing, or the unfolding of the future. Yet many people exhaust themselves trying. Notice how much tension lives in the body when you resist what is. The tight jaw, the shallow breath, the constant inner dialogue of this shouldn't be happening. The Buddha taught that suffering arises not from change itself, but from resisting change. When you try to control life, you are silently telling yourself that this moment is not enough, that reality must bend before you can feel at peace. But peace does not arrive when everything goes your way. Peace arrives when you stop demanding that it should. Letting go of control does not mean becoming passive or careless. It means learning the difference between what is yours to tend and what is not yours to carry. You can choose your actions. You can choose your intentions. You can choose how you respond. But the rest must be allowed. Try this gentle reflection. Ask yourself, what am I trying to control right now because I am afraid? Often beneath control lives fear. Fear of loss, fear of uncertainty, fear of being hurt again. When you soften your grip, something surprising happens. Your breath deepens, your mind quiets, your heart feels lighter. You begin to trust life again. In 2026, inner peace will not come from predicting every outcome. It will come from meeting each moment with openness instead of resistance. Say quietly to yourself, I allow life to unfold. I will meet what comes with presence, not panic. Control tightens the soul. Trust relaxes it. And when you let go of the need to control everything, you make room for something wiser to guide you. 2. Let go of attachment to who you used to be. There is a quiet kind of suffering that comes from living in comparison with your past. You may find yourself thinking, I used to be stronger, I used to be happier, I used to know who I was. But Buddhism teaches that clinging to former identities is a subtle form of attachment, and all attachment leads to suffering. You are not meant to remain who you once were. Life is movement, growth, change. Yet the mind often resists this truth, especially during times of transition. You may look at old photos, old achievements, old versions of yourself and feel a sense of loss. But ask yourself gently, were you ever meant to stay the same? The person you were then carried you to this moment, and now that version has completed its task. Holding on to who you used to be can prevent you from seeing who you are becoming. In Buddhism, identity is not fixed. It is fluid, shaped by conditions, experiences, and awareness. When you cling to an outdated self-image, you create inner conflict. You judge your present self. You feel behind. You feel as though life has taken something from you. But nothing has been taken. Something has transformed. The body changes. Desires change. Values change. And this is not failure. It is life unfolding naturally. Try this reflection. What part of me am I grieving? And what new part of me is quietly emerging? Peace comes when you stop measuring your worth by who you once were. Peace comes when you honor the wisdom gained through change. In 2026, inner peace will come from allowing yourself to evolve without apology. You do not need to return to an old version of yourself to be valuable. You do not need to prove continuity to be whole. You are allowed to be different. You are allowed to be softer. You are allowed to redefine success. Let go of the story that your best days are behind you. Every moment of awareness is a beginning. And when you release attachment to the past self, you create space for a deeper, truer presence to arise. 3. Let go of comparison with others. Comparison is one of the quietest thieves of inner peace. It happens almost automatically. You see someone else's life, progress, happiness, or stability, and suddenly your own feels insufficient. Buddhism teaches that comparison arises from misunderstanding the nature of suffering. You assume that others are happier, more fulfilled, or more at peace, but you are only seeing surfaces. Every person you compare yourself to is carrying unseen struggles, hidden fears, private disappointments. When you compare, you turn life into a competition that was never meant to exist. The Buddha taught that craving, wanting to be different than you are, is a root of suffering. Comparison feeds this craving endlessly. No matter how much you achieve, someone will always seem ahead. No matter how much you have, someone will appear to have more. This cycle never ends. Inner peace begins when you step out of the race entirely. Your life is not behind. Your timing is not wrong. Your path is not flawed. It is simply yours. Ask yourself, what happens when I stop measuring my life against others? Often, what arises is relief. You remember what matters to you. You reconnect with your own values instead of borrowed ones. In Buddhism, the practice is to return to your own breath, your own body, your own experience. When comparison appears, gently notice it without judgment. Then bring your attention back to where you are. Comparison pulls you away from presence. Presence brings you home. In 2026, inner peace will come from honoring your unique rhythm. Some seeds bloom early, some later. All are valid. Release the habit of asking, "Am I doing enough compared to them?" Instead, ask, "Am I living in alignment with what matters to me?" When you let go of comparison, contentment becomes possible. And contentment is one of the deepest forms of wealth. 4. Let go of resentment and old grievances. Holding on to resentment is like carrying a heavy stone in your heart. You may have been wronged, misunderstood, disappointed. Your pain was real, and Buddhism does not ask you to deny it. But it does invite you to notice what happens when pain turns into prolonged bitterness. Resentment keeps the past alive in the present. It replays old moments again and again, long after the event has ended. The Buddha taught that holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intention of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. Forgiveness in Buddhism is not about excusing harm. It is about freeing yourself from the weight of it. You do not forgive because others deserve it. You forgive because your heart deserves peace. Ask yourself quietly, how much energy am I giving to something that can no longer be changed? Resentment drains vitality. It tightens the chest. It clouds the mind. When you release it, you are not saying what happened was okay. You are saying, I choose not to suffer twice. This release may take time. It may happen in layers. Be patient with yourself. Try this gentle practice. When a painful memory arises, place a hand on your heart and say, I acknowledge this pain, and I choose to let it soften. You are allowed to move forward without carrying the weight of old wounds. In 2026, inner peace will require lightness, and lightness comes from setting down what no longer needs to be held. Your past does not need your protection anymore. It needs your compassion and your release. 5. Let go of the belief that your worth is tied to productivity. Many people enter a new year carrying an invisible burden, the belief that their worth depends on how much they do. From early in life, you may have been praised for achievement, effort, and results. You learned that being busy meant being valuable, that resting required justification, that slowing down was a sign of falling behind. But Buddhism offers a radically compassionate truth. Your worth has never been dependent on productivity. You are valuable simply because you exist. The suffering begins when the mind equates stillness with failure. When quiet days feel empty instead of full. When rest feels uncomfortable instead of nourishing. As 2026 unfolds, many people will feel pressure to keep up, to adapt faster, to learn more, to do more. But inner peace does not grow in constant motion. It grows in presence. The Buddha taught that attachment to becoming, always needing to be more, is a source of dissatisfaction. There is always another goal, another expectation, another version of yourself waiting to be achieved. And yet, peace is found in being, not becoming. Ask yourself gently, how do I speak to myself on days when I do less? If the inner voice becomes critical or dismissive, that is not truth speaking, it is conditioning. You are allowed to rest without earning it. You are allowed to have value beyond output. Stillness is not wasted time. It is where clarity returns. It is where the nervous system softens. It is where wisdom is heard. In Buddhism, mindfulness is not an activity. It is a state of awareness. You can be fully alive while doing nothing at all. Try this reflection. When you sit quietly without distraction, can you let yourself simply exist? Notice how the mind may search for justification. Gently remind yourself, being here is enough. In 2026, inner peace will come from redefining success, not as constant motion, but as alignment with what truly matters. You do not need to exhaust yourself to deserve rest. You do not need to prove your value through busyness. Your breath has value. Your presence has value. Your quiet moments matter. When you let go of the belief that productivity defines you, you begin to experience life more deeply, not as something to conquer, but as something to inhabit. 6. Let go of unrealistic expectations of others. Many disappointments are born not from what people do, but from what we silently expect them to be. You may expect others to understand you without explanation, to change when you are hurt, to meet your emotional needs in ways they may not be capable of. These expectations often come from hope, not malice. But when they remain unspoken or unmet, they turn into frustration, sadness, or quiet resentment. Buddhism teaches that suffering arises when we attach our happiness to conditions outside ourselves. When you expect others to behave a certain way, you give them power over your inner peace. This does not mean you stop caring. It means you begin to see people clearly, without illusion. Every person is shaped by their own fears, conditioning, wounds, and limitations. They act from their level of awareness, not from your needs. Ask yourself, am I asking this person to be someone they are not ready to be? Often, disappointment softens when expectation is replaced with understanding. This does not mean tolerating harm or abandoning boundaries. It means letting go of the hope that someone will suddenly become different if you wait long enough. Peace comes from clarity. When you release unrealistic expectations, relationships feel lighter. You stop taking behavior personally. You stop replaying conversations in your mind. Instead, you meet people where they are, or you create distance with compassion. The Buddha taught that attachment to desire, including the desire for others to change, creates suffering. You cannot force growth. You cannot hurry awareness. You cannot control another person's inner world. But you can choose honesty. You can choose boundaries. You can choose where to invest your emotional energy. Try this gentle practice. When disappointment arises, ask, what expectation was present here? Notice how naming it creates space. In 2026, inner peace will come from releasing the fantasy of perfect understanding. You will find peace not in being constantly met, but in being grounded within yourself. You are allowed to stop waiting for others to become who you need them to be. And when expectations loosen, relationships become more real, more honest, and far less heavy. 7. Let go of the fear of uncertainty. Uncertainty can feel unsettling, especially in a world that constantly asks for plans, predictions, and answers. You may find comfort in knowing what comes next, in imagining outcomes, in believing the future can be prepared for completely. But Buddhism teaches a different relationship with uncertainty. It is not something to fear. It is the nature of reality itself. Nothing is ever fully known. Nothing is guaranteed. And yet, life continues to unfold. The suffering begins when the mind insists on certainty as a condition for peace. You may delay joy until things are resolved. You may hold back from living fully because the path ahead is unclear. But clarity often comes only after you move forward, not before. The Buddha taught that impermanence and uncertainty are inseparable. Everything is changing, moment by moment. When you accept this, something shifts. You stop demanding answers from the future. You return to the only place where peace can exist, this moment. Ask yourself, what am I postponing until I feel certain? Often, the answer reveals fear. Fear of making mistakes, fear of loss, fear of choosing wrong. But uncertainty does not mean danger. It means possibility. In Buddhism, trust is not blind optimism. It is a quiet confidence in your ability to respond to whatever arises. You may not know what 2026 will bring, but you know how to breathe, you know how to pause, you know how to meet experience with awareness. That is enough. Try this reflection. Instead of asking, what will happen? Ask, how will I meet what happens? When you shift the question, fear loosens its grip. Uncertainty becomes less threatening when you stop demanding guarantees. In 2026, inner peace will come from walking forward without needing the full map. You do not need certainty to be present. You do not need answers to be at peace. Life is not meant to be solved. It is meant to be experienced. When you let go of the fear of uncertainty, you begin to live with openness instead of hesitation. And in that openness, peace quietly grows. 8. Let go of the need for external validation. There is a quiet hunger many people carry without realizing it, the need to be seen, approved of, and affirmed by others. You may recognize it in subtle ways, checking how others respond to your words, wondering how you are perceived, feeling unsettled when appreciation does not arrive. This need for validation is deeply human. But Buddhism teaches that when your sense of worth depends on external approval, peace becomes fragile. Praise lifts you temporarily, criticism wounds you deeply, and silence feels like rejection. The mind begins to look outward for confirmation. Am I enough? Am I doing this right? Do I matter? But answers from the outside are never stable. They change with moods, circumstances, and opinions. The Buddha taught that suffering arises when the self is built on what is impermanent, and approval is one of the most impermanent things of all. Ask yourself gently, how often do I abandon my inner truth to be accepted? Often the desire for validation leads to subtle self-betrayal. You say yes when you mean no. You soften your truth to avoid discomfort. You shape yourself to fit expectations that are not your own. Over time, this creates exhaustion, not because you are doing too much, but because you are not being yourself. Inner peace begins when you turn inward instead of outward. Validation does not disappear when you stop seeking it. It is replaced by something deeper, self-respect. In Buddhism, self-respect is not arrogance. It is alignment. Living in harmony with your values even when no one is watching. Try this reflection. If no one were judging me, what would I choose? Notice what arises. You do not need constant affirmation to exist peacefully. You need inner permission. permission to rest, permission to change, permission to be misunderstood. When you stop performing for approval, life becomes simpler. Your words become more honest, your actions more grounded. In 2026, inner peace will require courage, the courage to be rooted in yourself. You may still appreciate kindness and recognition, but you will no longer depend on them. Your worth will not rise or fall based on opinions. It will remain steady, quiet, and unshaken. Let go of the habit of asking the world who you are. You already know. 9. Let go of the story that you are running out of time. Many people live with an invisible pressure, the feeling that time is slipping away. You may hear it in your thoughts. I should be further by now. I don't have time to start over. It's too late. This belief creates urgency, regret, and quiet panic. It pulls you out of the present and into imagined futures and rewritten pasts. Buddhism offers a different understanding of time, not as an enemy, but as a flow. The Buddha taught that only this moment is real. The past exists as memory, the future as imagination. When you believe you are running out of time, you stop fully inhabiting the time you have. You rush conversations, you overlook small joys, you turn life into a deadline instead of an experience. Ask yourself, what am I afraid will be lost if I slow down? Often beneath this fear is comparison. Comparing timelines, comparing milestones, comparing lives. But no two lives unfold in the same rhythm. Some people awaken early, some later. Some circle back many times before clarity appears. None of this is failure. Time is not meant to be conquered. It is meant to be lived. When you release the belief that you are behind, something softens. You stop chasing meaning and begin noticing it. A quiet morning becomes enough. A sincere conversation becomes complete. A single mindful breath becomes sacred. In Buddhism, awareness expands time. When you are fully present, moments feel richer, deeper, and more alive. Try this gentle practice. When you feel rushed, pause and notice your breath. Feel it fully. Just one breath. Notice how time slows when attention deepens. In 2026, inner peace will come from remembering this truth. You are not late to your life, you are here. And here is where life happens. It is never too late to be present. It is never too late to be kind. It is never too late to let go of what no longer serves you. The belief that time is running out creates fear. The awareness of this moment creates peace. Release the story that you must hurry. Life is not leaving you behind. It is waiting for you to arrive. 10. Let go of the belief that you must have everything figured out. There is a quiet pressure many people carry into each new year. The belief that by now they should have clarity. Clarity about who they are, clarity about where they are going, clarity about what their life is meant to be. This belief often goes unquestioned. It hides beneath phrases like, I should know better, or I need to get my life together. But Buddhism offers a gentler truth. Life is not meant to be fully understood. It is meant to be lived. The mind seeks certainty because it fears vulnerability. It wants solid ground, clear answers, and defined paths. Yet the Buddha taught that clinging to fixed views is one of the deepest sources of suffering. When you believe you must have everything figured out, you place your peace in the future. You tell yourself that calm will arrive once decisions are made, once doubts disappear, once direction is clear. But clarity does not come from pressure. It comes from presence. Many people move through life feeling inadequate because their path does not look linear. Plans change, desires shift, certainty fades and returns, and the mind interprets this as failure. But uncertainty is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a sign that life is alive. In Buddhism, wisdom is not the accumulation of answers. It is the ability to remain open in the face of not knowing. Ask yourself gently, what am I demanding clarity about right now? Notice how the body responds to that demand. The tension, the urgency, the self-judgment. Now ask, what if I didn't need to know yet? When you release the need to have everything figured out, something unexpected happens. You begin to listen more closely to your body, to your intuition, to the quiet signals that are drowned out by overthinking. The Buddha did not reach awakening by forcing certainty. He reached it by sitting with uncertainty long enough for insight to arise naturally. Life is not a puzzle to be solved once and for all. It is a process of unfolding understanding. When you accept that you are allowed to be in between decisions, between identities, between chapters, you stop rushing yourself. And when you stop rushing, wisdom has space to appear. In 2026, inner peace will not come from having all the answers. It will come from trusting yourself to meet questions with patience. You do not need to know the entire path to take the next step. You only need to be present enough to recognize what feels aligned now. Try this gentle practice. When uncertainty arises, instead of searching for immediate resolution, say to yourself, "It is okay not to know. I will walk with awareness." Notice how this softens the mind. Letting go of the need to have everything figured out does not mean giving up responsibility. It means releasing self-punishment. You stop measuring your worth by how clear your future looks. You stop comparing your timeline to others. You stop believing that confusion means failure. Some of the most meaningful shifts in life happen during periods of not knowing. They teach humility. They deepen self-trust. They slow you down enough to hear your own truth. In Buddhism, right understanding grows from observation, not force. You learn by watching your reactions, by noticing what brings peace and what creates tension, by staying curious rather than critical. When you let go of the belief that you must have everything figured out, you allow life to teach you moment by moment. And something remarkable happens. You begin to feel supported by life instead of tested by it. You feel less alone with your questions. You realize that not knowing is not emptiness, it is openness. In this openness, creativity emerges, compassion deepens, and inner peace becomes possible, not because life is clear, but because you are present. As you move forward, remember, you are not behind, you are not broken, you are not failing because you are unsure, you are human. And in Buddhism, being human, fully aware, fully present, fully open is enough. Let go of the belief that certainty is required for peace. Peace lives here, in the quiet courage to walk forward without needing to see the entire road. In 2026, remember this. Inner peace is not something you chase. It is something you uncover. Each thing you let go of creates space. Space for breath, space for clarity, space for stillness. You are not meant to carry everything forward. Some burdens were only meant to teach you. Let them rest now. If this reflection resonated with you, allow its wisdom to accompany you gently into your days. Return to these truths whenever the world feels heavy. Thank you for listening. May you move forward lightly. May you live attentively. May you find peace, not someday, but here. Until next time, breathe softly, walk slowly, and trust your path.